Hello guys!
Hello.
Hello.
We are live from Copenhagen again with a new, not a Devstream, but a 1.08 update preview. And we haven't seen you in a while, so we are very happy you're here. With me today I have Reto-Moto and I have Reto-Robotron
Cheers.
3000. And we had a lot of stuff to go through, so let's get started. We have some news, we have a bit about something called Operation Glasnost, and then we have a whole big bit about the 1.08 update and what's going to be in that one. And at some point we'll have a giveaway. That's basically it for today. In the news, it's been summer and summer vacation. A lot of developers was on vacation. They are returning now and we are happy to see them back, all rested, all ready to work. And we released the 1.07.1 update during the summer. It's a small, a minor update. We had some stuff in there about vehicle collision, especially that big vehicles now collide correctly with smaller vehicles, so you can cross that bicycle with your tank. And I'm kind of hoping you're all enjoying to do that. And as we mentioned in the blog post, it's part of a bigger project that we're working on that we'll return to and tell you a lot more about during the next few months. And if you want to know more about what's in the 1.08 and collision stuff, then please look at the changelog on the webpage. In the 1.07.1 we also had some adjustments to the sounds of the semi-auto rifles and the early game SMGs. And they sound better now, we think. But we also thought that you, the community, were right that especially the semi-auto rifles needed a bit of adjustments to be more distinguishable from each other. So that's actually going to be in the 1.08. Especially the Garand had a major tweak with some help from the community. Bridget Grex, who knows a lot about the rifle, helped us out. So we're very happy with that.
Yeah. Thanks for the help.
Yeah.
It's going to.
And looking forward to releasing that bit in the 1.08. But let's talk about the stuff that we are calling Operation Glasnost. And that's the reason I have my closest colleagues with me today. So nobody's actually in the marketing office. We are all here.
Then who's doing who's flying the plane?
Nobody is flying anything at the moment.
All right.
But we have a project called Operation Glasnost, and that's especially on you, Consolo.
Yeah. Well, Operation Glasnost. First of all, Glasnost. That's Wikipedia says it's Russian for publicity. I thought it was openness, but Wikipedia is always right. And in the sense, the state of being open to public knowledge. So what is this all about? Well, it's about that we at Reto-Moto want to provide a greater transparency about what we do and why we do the things we do. We have been experiencing some frustrations in the community based on us maybe not telling too much about what we do and not providing answers frequently enough. So that is something we wish to do something about. We have the first initiatives in Operation Glasnost, which is that we are expanding the amount of Devstream formats we have with 2 more types of Devstreams. We have one next Wednesday called Q&A and Why with Reto Red Bjarne and Reto-Gargamel.
Yeah.
The boys are back in town. Yeah. The purpose of Q&A and Why is that Reto Red Bjarne will be able to answer questions that you ask us either in the live chat or on the forum. And he can also give an update on things currently in development. The questions asked on the forums will be collected leading up to each Q&A and Why, and it will be put up for voting, so you in the community, the players, all of you out there, can vote which questions you want to be asked first, as in the ones who most of you are interested in will be answered first. So there will be a section in each Q&A and why for forum questions and a section for live questions. Besides that, then we also have a new stream called Community Frontline with community manager Reto-Moto. The reason why he's not here at the office with us right now or in the studio right now is that he is living in Netherlands.
Netherworld?
Netherworld?
Netherworld, yeah.
Maybe just Nether, I don't know. And he has already run 3 episodes, an alpha episode, a beta episode, and a number 1. Kind of like Heroes and Generals was in alpha, beta, and well, released. And in the community frontline, Reto-Moto will be playing Heroes and Generals. It won't be as much oriented about production updates and discussions of designs and all of these things. That's for the Q&A and Y stream with Reto-Red-Bjarne and Reto-Gargamel. But he will take up constructive forum feedback threads. He will maybe elaborate on some of Reto-Red-Bjarne's answers. He might show some tips and tricks for the game, how to best upgrade a weapon or something like that. And he will also, of course, do some live Q&A, answering the questions that he has knowledge about and that he knows the answers for. Otherwise, he might forward them to Reto-Red-Bjarne or some of the other of us. The Q&A and Y and the community frontline will run every week in the sense that we'll have Q&A and Y one week, and then community frontline, then Q&A Y, and then community frontline, and so on. Except when we have a new update coming up, like we have now. So a couple of weeks before we expect to release a new update, we will run an update preview instead of one of the other 2 streams. And the update preview, that's basically
That's this one.
This one.
Yeah.
But anyway, to round up the dev streams, every Wednesday at 3 o'clock CEST, and that is 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern Time, US, there will be a stream on this channel. We also have some other initiatives coming up in Operation Glasnost. If some of you have been following Reto-Red-Bjarne or Reto-Splixen on their Twitch channels, you will have seen that they have made a few unannounced and ad hoc work-in-progress streams. Reto-Red-Bjarne has been building new stuff for some of the Soviet maps, and I also believe that Reto-Splixen did a test on a new map as well. There will be more of that coming up. We haven't really figured out how much and who wish to do that, but we aim to have more ad hoc open development streams, so you can tag along and see what people are doing, and maybe ask a question or 2 in the meantime. The goal with this Operation Glasnost is that, as mentioned, we want to let you know what we're working on, why we're working on it, and make sure that you get your questions answered. And we wish to move forward, making Heroes and Generals an even greater game as a united team, with both developers and you guys, the players, as one team. So that's an invitation from us to invite you inside to see what we're doing.
Great. And the thing we're working on at the moment is the 108 update. Part of that is something that I know that you wanted. I know a lot of players have asked for this as well.
Yes.
Leaderboards.
Leaderboards. Yes.
Leaderboards are back.
Leaderboards. We're bringing back leaderboards, but not in the puny way we had them before. Now they are going to be awesome. They are becoming awesomer every day. It's work in progress. This is a quick mock-up of how it's going to look. Leaderboards will have the top 10, as you can see over here. First 3 places highlighted. Then it should go to 10. This mock-up doesn't. And then below that, some of you, very few of you, will not be in the top 10 because you people watching this live, of course, our very, very best players. But if you, by chance, maybe you had an off day, you're not in the top 10, but lower down.
If you were me, maybe.
Then you'll have something as you can see over here, where you have position 20,314, 15, so on. Then it'll show where you are, and ACK Bob the Builder is currently Ken Solo, apparently.
Yes.
This is just a mock-up with some random names, and one, yeah, they are random because Simo Hey Hey is not a pilot.
Let's see. We have the 108, and the 108 actually has a title. We've decided to call it Planes and Ladders.
Planes and ladders.
Planes and ladders. Ladders for the leaderboards, and planes because we have 3 new planes.
We do,
And that's why we have you in the studio today.
indeed. So before I start talking about why we are adding the new planes, well, I want to explain why we are adding the new planes. As Reto-Moto was saying in a previous stream, we are working on a new armor model where we are trying to update all the vehicles. And at the moment we are working on a completely new vehicle handling system. And that is a whole lot of work because every single vehicle needs to be retweaked to work with this new mechanic. And since we already have an established workflow for new planes, seeing as we have just added a whole lot of planes in the past a few updates, we'll just keep that ball rolling. And while we're working on the new vehicle code, we have a workflow of just getting more planes in, because that is really an area of the game where we do need more content. So it was obvious to keep going with planes.
Yeah.
So
In general, yeah,
this is
this is the positioning.
yeah. So we are adding more planes to the medium fighter category, and we wanted something to be somewhere in between the recon planes and the current ones that we already had. So we are adding some that are quote-unquote worse, but each of them has a redeeming quality. So they are not actually worse. They will unlock sooner, and they will have a purpose, and they might fit just your style of flying better than the ones we have. So they are always worth to try out. And you may see that we are planning something in the future as well. So if you are complaining that the one plane you want right now isn't on the list, there will be more in the future. So the first plane I want to introduce is a German one. So here we have it. This is the BF 109 D1 or Dora 1, which is one of the earlier versions of the Messerschmitt. The Messerschmitt is from 1937,
Yeah.
and it was being developed quite quickly. There were a lot of iterations and updates throughout the development. And this one, it did see action in the war. It was the main German Luftwaffe plane during the Spanish Civil War.
Okay.
But by the time of the Second World War, it was sort of obsolete. It was used, but mainly it was retired as a trainer, and it was used as a training plane throughout the entire war.
But it does fly.
It does fly, so let's get it in the air. It's slightly slower than the current Messerschmitt. It sort of the same handling, slightly worse, but not too different. But its main difference is that instead of two 20mm cannons on the wings, this one has a single 20mm cannon in the nose of the plane that fires out through the propeller shaft. So I'll demonstrate here. And of course it has the two cowling machine guns on top of it. So this is the redeeming quality of this plane, is that it has this center-mounted cannon, which does make it easier to aim with. Sorry, I like to talk about stuff like this. All right.
There we have it.
So this little stumpy thing we can look at while I keep talking about this great man. Well, the technology was rapid.
And it can fly as
Yeah,
well.
it can fly.
It's a good quality in a plane.
The first version of this plane had 2 machine guns, one 30 caliber and one 50 caliber in the cowling of the plane.
Yeah.
Then Sweden also made a contract for this plane and then wanted it up-armed. So they had 2 heavy machine guns in the cowling and 2 light machine guns in the wings.
Okay.
Then by the time the war broke out, the US didn't want to send any more planes to Sweden. So they kept the remaining planes for themselves and armed them accordingly. So let's go for the third plane.
Let's take a breather. You might need a
Yeah.
glass of water first. This one is without the history lesson, I'm assuming.
Yeah, someone in the background is making gestures that I've spent a lot of time talking, so I'll be a bit more brief with this one.
But at least they can go away with
Yeah.
being a bit smarter after watching
So,
this one. No.
This is the Soviet MiG-3, and I think it just looks awesome.
It does.
This is basically the muscle car of planes. It's one huge engine, and it's fast. It's fast, and it's very, very fast. The MiG-3 was designed as a high-altitude fighter. Unfortunately, when it was used, there weren't really any planes in high altitudes. So
To fight against that.
yeah, so it was pretty much alone up there. It had one great advantage is that when it's up high, it can fly very fast. So it was a great interceptor. So if enemy planes are spotted all the way over there, you can launch these and they'll get to them fast. It did sort of lose its high-speed advantage at the low altitudes, but in the game we are emphasizing its speed. Let's just get it up to speed. It doesn't maneuver very well when you're up in speed, but besides that, it's a average maneuverability at low speed. It is armed with 2 light machine guns in the cowling and 1 heavy machine gun. Like with the American plane, this one has 2 small bombs.
And can actually hit stuff. That's great. So to recap this one as well, it's one of the fastest one.
It is the
In the
fastest plane in the game.
In the game, yeah.
So it's faster than the German heavy fighter.
Exactly. So for you pilots out there that can actually master it, it could be a pretty deadly one. And thank you for showing us the planes.
You're welcome.
We are almost done with this update stream. We talked about the 108 coming out, which is going to contain leaderboards, and it's going to contain the 3 new planes. And it's gonna be there's gonna be a few adjustments to the sounds of the semi-auto rifles, so you can tell them apart more easily. And there's gonna be a few other stuff and tidbits and codes in there that'll be available to read about in the changelog. We also talked about the Operation Glasnost we're doing at the moment. We are really hoping that we will be able to provide you with a lot more information on what's going on, what we're working on, what's in the pipeline. We provided something today, and you got to see 3 of the planes that are a bit out in the future, but you still got to see them. So we hope you enjoyed that. If you missed anything of this stream, it will be available on YouTube. But for now, thank you for watching. Have a great week. We'll see you on the battlefield, where you hopefully will make a difference and fight for your friends. Take care.